This courtroom case centers around a driver named Miss Lane, who finds herself facing the judge after receiving 6 separate speeding tickets, some for driving 20 to 30 miles per hour over the speed limit in residential neighborhoods. Instead of admitting fault, she insists that the same police officer, Officer Bennett, has been unfairly targeting her. As the hearing begins, Miss Lane arrives with her attorney and is offered a plea deal that could settle several of the violations, including issues with improper plates, speeding, and driving without proof of insurance. However, what seems like a straightforward case quickly turns into a tense exchange. When the judge begins asking questions, Miss Lane repeatedly interrupts and tries to explain why she believes the tickets are unfair. She admits she was driving the vehicle, but argues that she actually had her license and insurance with her, even though the officer cited her for not having them. The situation becomes even more surprising when it's revealed that multiple tickets were issued to her on the same day by the same officer. Miss Lane attempts to justify this by saying she was driving a rental car and acting like a taxi for her family, running errands and giving people rides throughout the day. As the discussion continues, the judge discovers that her driver's license was actually suspended during this time, something Miss Lane strongly disputes. The courtroom grows increasingly tense as she continues interrupting and refusing to fully accept responsibility. Yet, despite her claims of being targeted, she eventually admits that she had been speeding on several occasions. By the end of the hearing, the judge has clearly run out of patience with the excuses. His final decision brings the case to a close, with a sentence meant to hold her accountable and remind her of the importance of following traffic laws. What started as an attempt to blame the officer ultimately turns into a lesson about responsibility and a moment that leaves the entire courtroom stunned.
All
right, start your video now. Today is the date and time set for a pretrial. What does your client want to do?
There's a resolution of the matter, Your Honor. She's going to plead to 2 counts of improper plate for no insurance, and then limited assets 6 to 10, and blockading. And she's asking for community services to do community service.
You want to take the deal, ma'am? Miss Lane?
Yes, I'm sorry, Judge. So when I got my speaker on, I got to hold my phone up because I can't hear and see at the same time. And you see my face. So.
All right. I see your face now, so you can turn your camera off. All right.
Okay.
So let me see. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Okay, you go ahead and do what you need to do. All right. You understand the maximum possible penalty for this offense is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fine?
Yes.
Attention back to May the 7th, 2025 at around 3:36 p.m. in the city of Detroit, in the area of Evergreen in Schoolcraft. Did you have an occasion on that day to come encounter with the Detroit Police Department?
Yeah, I know the case you're referring to.
And were you operating a motor vehicle on that day?
Yes, I was.
And was that your car?
No, it was a rental, and I actually had my license on me at the time, but I couldn't find them. Officer Bennett, I pulled right up on him to show him my license, and he said, "Go to court. I'm gonna put you through a driver's course." Like, he didn't want to hear me.
All right. So, Officer Bennett, did you have a valid license? That's the question.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Run a driver's license, please. Because he wrote you for suspended license as well.
Oh, that's not the ticket I got. I only got over the speed limit, and he got me for not having my license on me.
Yeah, you got a lot of. It seemed like you got a lot of tickets. Let's see if they were all issued at the same time. All these tickets were issued at the same time.
By the same officer.
Yeah, I know. And he wrote you for a suspended license, and he wrote you for no ops, and he wrote you for no insurance, and he wrote you for speeding, and he wrote you for expired plate.
Anything that was in May, I had a rental for like a month and a half. So
Hold on one second.
I had insurance on a rental.
Just 1 second.
Okay, hold on, Miss Lane. Let the court do what's.
Evergreen and Linden.
I'm sorry.
Evergreen and Linden was one ticket on 5/7/2025. And then on 5/7/2025, Evergreen and Schoolcraft. You got pulled over twice in one day?
Yes, I did.
Just a few minutes behind the other.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're just ripping and running up and down that green Evergreen there now.
Your Honor, I'm like the taxi jitney for my entire family. Well, whenever I have any free time, I have to rip and run.
You need to be charging them so you can get your valid license. Let's see if you had a license on that day.
Yes, I did.
That's what you say.
Yeah, I know I did because I was able to get my rental car.
I'm not going off of that now.
Okay.
I'm not going off of that. It says your license was suspended out of Taylor.
So it said my license was suspended in at the end of May. Correct.
I mean, it says here,
Officer Bennett pulled me over on May the 7th.
I understand that.
And no insurance. That wasn't even my car.
Miss Lane, just let the court do what it's doing.
Okay.
Based on the reading of this, I cannot confirm that her license was suspended at that time.
It wasn't, Your Honor.
I know you say so. I know that. I heard you. That's why I'm taking an opportunity to look at it.
Okay. And Your Honor, can I just note, I know what you're looking at. It's definitely not a reflection of who I am. There are a lot of speeding tickets, but like I said,
Miss Lane.
Huh?
I'm not saying it's a reflection of who you are, okay? These are traffic visitors. I'm not saying that Miss Lane is the worst person on the face of this earth because she got pulled over and didn't have her license. I'm not saying that, all right?
Okay.
Did you have insurance on that day? It's the question.
Yes.
Okay, the question is yes. The answer is yes. All right. Let me do this. Let me carry your attention. Let's carry your attention back to December the 22nd, 2023 at around 10:10 a.m. in the city of Detroit. And Officer Bennett again in the area of Plymouth and Foss. Did you have an occasion on that day to come encounter with the Detroit Police Department?
Yeah, I had a run-in with Bennett.
Again, you keep having run-ins with Bennett, don't you?
Bennett is looking for me in my eyes, but that's another story. And I asked him that when I last saw him. But okay.
All right.
Yeah.
On that date and time, ma'am, did you have a valid license on that day?
December 23, no, I did not.
Okay, December 22nd, 2023. Okay. All right. And you were operating that motor vehicle, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, find her guilty of the amended count of allowing on that. So instead of improper plates, it will be 2 counts of amended counts of allowing. Were you speeding on that first date, ma'am?
I was.
All right. And what was the other? Was it for the one blocking traffic? Were you speeding both times on that date?
Yes.
On both times on that same day you got that ticket?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, so if you weren't speeding, then Officer Bennett would have no reason to pull you over, would he?
Guess not.
Unless Officer Bennett knew or felt he knew that you didn't have a valid driver's license or didn't have insurance or something, right? But speeding got the attention of the officer. Would you agree with that?
I would agree, and I would agree that my car was distinctive. And that I know that.
All right, but that has nothing to do with you speeding, though. Well, I mean, I guess it does. It stands out even more. Your speeding and your car is distinctive, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
And you're drawing attention to yourself, right?
Yes.
And it's Officer Bennett's job to pull people over that are speeding, correct? She doesn't want to answer that one.
No, because I really just if you can look at my record, because I know it's really long, but I just received my license And ever since I received it, this officer he keep giving me tickets. I'm not.
But you just said that you were speeding, ma'am. What do you think the officer's gonna do when you're speeding?
5 miles over. Okay. All right. Correct. You're right.
Right. Over. You gotta accept responsibility for it.
I'm accepting responsibility, Your Honor. Can you see I did community service? I only have speeding tickets for real. I have really did try to get my license. It took a lot for me to get them.
All right, so you're not respecting it then, because if you continue to speed, then you're going to continue to get tickets and potentially get tickets, and that's going to be the way it goes. So you have to learn to slow down. And what's going to make you learn to slow down? I don't know. That's all it is to it. You're not just speeding. You got 26 to 30 over. You have 16 to 20 over. You got 21 to 25 over. You got 6 to 10 over. You got 6 to 10 over. You got 6 to 10 over. What are you crying and complaining about? Huh?
You said, what am I complaining about? I'm complaining because
what are you complaining about? You're doing 21, 30 miles an hour over the speed limit continually. And you're going to sit here and blame Officer Bennett for pulling you over. Now, I'll tell you another.
Watching, Your Honor, I'm going to agree to what's on paper, 25 miles. If I'm writing down Evergreen, how can I go 65 up Evergreen, Your Honor? That would be 20 miles over. If I'm writing down Plymouth, these are the streets he's getting me at. If I'm writing down Plymouth.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time.
It happens all the time, and he's the one bringing in most of the people, and it's going to be believable because he put it down on paper. Just like it was just a lie you just told me that said that I didn't have no insurance on a rental car. Like, and everything that I'm saying is you're not understanding what I'm saying? And after that was just that was a lie?
We're going back.
Calm down, Miss Lane.
No, we're going back to this. You admitted to speeding, ma'am. You admitted to that.
I did admit that.
You said you sped. You said so.
Yes, I did.
The courtroom is quiet as the next case is called, and a woman named Miss Lane walks forward to stand before the judge. At first glance, it seems like a routine traffic case, something the court probably sees every single day. But as the details begin to come out, it quickly becomes clear that this situation is anything but ordinary. Miss Lane isn't just dealing with a single ticket. According to the court records, she received 6 separate speeding tickets, and some of them are serious. These weren't small mistakes where someone was going just a few miles over the limit. In several instances, Miss Lane was reportedly driving 20 to 30 miles per hour over the speed limit in residential neighborhoods. These are areas where people expect drivers to slow down, places where families live, children play outside, and pedestrians walk along the streets. Despite the number of violations, Miss Lane doesn't appear to believe she insists that she had her driver's license with her at the time, even though one of the tickets claims she didn't. She also says she had insurance for the vehicle, despite being cited for failing to provide proof of it. The judge listens carefully, but he continues asking questions, trying to understand exactly what happened. That's when another surprising detail comes up. Several of the tickets were issued on the same day, all by the same officer. Miss Lane immediately uses this as evidence for her claim that she was being singled out. She explains that it doesn't make sense for one driver to receive so many tickets in such a short period of time unless the officer was intentionally targeting her. From her perspective, it feels unfair. But when the judge asks her to explain the events of that day, her story becomes more complicated. Miss Lane explains that she was driving a rental car at the time. According to her, she spent most of the day helping family members by giving them rides. She describes herself as basically acting like a taxi service for relatives, driving people from place to place, running errands, and making multiple trips around town. Because she was on the road so often that day, She argues that it's possible the officer kept noticing her vehicle and decided to keep pulling her over. While that might explain why the same officer saw her several times, it doesn't address the main issue the court is concerned about: the speeding. As the judge continues the conversation, Miss Lane frequently interrupts while he's speaking. Each time the judge begins to explain something or ask another question, she jumps in with another explanation. At first, the judge remains patient, allowing her to speak and clarify her side of the story. But as the interruptions continue, the tension in the courtroom begins to grow. Then the judge brings up another issue that appears in the court records, something far more serious than a simple speeding ticket. According to the documents, Miss Lane's driver's license was actually suspended during the time these violations occurred. The moment this is mentioned, Miss Lane strongly disagrees. She insists that her license was not suspended and that there must be some kind of mistake in the system. She argues that she wouldn't have been driving if her license had actually been suspended. The judge reviews the information again and calmly explains that the court records clearly show the suspension. This revelation adds another layer to the situation. Driving with a suspended license can lead to much more serious consequences than a standard traffic violation. As the hearing continues, the judge becomes increasingly frustrated with the constant interruptions and arguments. Every time he tries to move forward with the discussion, Miss Lane pushes back with another explanation. At one point, the judge reminds her that the purpose of the hearing is to resolve the case, not to debate every single detail endlessly. Still, Miss Lane continues insisting that the officer was treating her unfairly. Eventually, the judge brings the focus back to the most important question: whether or not she was speeding. After several rounds of questioning, Miss Lane finally acknowledges something that changes the entire tone of the hearing. She admits that she was speeding, not just once, but multiple times. Even though she continues to believe the officer was targeting her, her own statements confirm that she was driving over the speed limit on several occasions. The courtroom grows quiet as the judge processes everything he has heard. At this point, the issue is no longer about whether the officer was unfair. The facts of the case show that multiple speeding violations occurred, and some of them happened in residential areas where safety is especially important. The judge explains that speed limits exist for a reason. They are designed to protect people who live in those neighborhoods: families, children, cyclists, and pedestrians. Driving 20 or 30 miles per hour over the limit in those areas can be extremely dangerous. After considering all of the information presented during the hearing, the judge prepares to deliver his final decision. Instead of imposing the harshest possible penalties, he chooses a sentence that focuses on accountability. Miss Lane is ordered to complete 72 hours of community service for all of the offenses combined. The judge explains that the goal of the sentence is not simply to punish her, but to remind her of the responsibility that comes with driving. Before closing the case, he offers one final piece of advice: slow down. It's a simple message, but an important one. Repeated speeding violations can lead to much more serious consequences if the behavior continues. With that, the hearing comes to an end. What began as an attempt to convince the court that a police officer was unfairly targeting her ultimately turned into a moment of accountability. The judge made it clear that excuses, interruptions, and arguments cannot change the basic facts of the case. When drivers get behind the wheel, they take on a responsibility, not just for themselves, but for everyone else on the road. And for Miss Lane, this courtroom appearance serves as a powerful reminder that ignoring speed limits can eventually lead to consequences that can't be talked away.
Listen, I'm talking about the past you bled. You got 30 miles an hour back years ago, 26 to 30. On this occasion, it said you were going 21 to 25 miles an hour over. On another occasion, it said you were going 16 to 20 miles an hour over. On another occasion, it said you were going 6 to 10 miles an hour over. On another two occasions, it said you were going 6 to 10 miles an hour over.
All right, Yon.
So you admitted to that. Now, I'm tired of people coming in blaming Officer Bennett. Officer Bennett is targeting me. Officer Bennett is doing this.
Ms. Lane.
Yes, Your Honor. Why is it so hard to believe the defendant?
Miss Lane, calm down.
You're just not gonna get it.
I'll talk to her further, Your Honor.
Well, if I would give a little bit of credence to what she's saying, if she doesn't sit here and admit to speeding all the time, I would give a little bit of credence. But she can't sit here and tell me that Officer Bennett is targeting her when she's admitting to speeding up the street. What is Officer Bennett out there supposed to be doing?
Your Honor, can't you see that that's in the past? I told you I just got my license back, and I've been working on that. Okay.
I can't get you to understand any better, ma'am. I got other people. I just can't get you to understand any better. You're just not going to accept really the responsibility fully.
I'm accepting the responsibility. That's why I took the plea, because
I give you that. I'll give you that. But we're going back and forth about Officer Bennett targeting you. You don't understand that you're giving him reason to pull you over. That's all I'm saying.
I do.
That's it. You're giving him reason to do it. And if you keep on speeding, he's probably going to pull you over again if he sees you. That's all it is about. All right, what do you want to do with these? You said you want to do community service?
Yes, she wants to do community service.
For everything, ma'am, to clear up everything?
Yes, to clear up everything.
Ms. Lane, mute your device.
What are you saying now, Ms. Lane?
You said mute my phone?
No, what was the comment you had?
The comment was, it really doesn't matter when you come to court, because it was just a proven lie. But being by that, I didn't take what you said, but I hear everything you're saying. Now I'm back onto my past. We talking about the cases that's happening now, and it was proven that I was lied on, just like them other court things where it say I did 26 over. If I agree to that, I know that was a lie. Them are all residential streets. How could I do 26 over? I can tell you the areas I be. How can I do 26 over on Evergreen? How can I do 26 over on Plymouth? That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to prove that what I'm saying, maybe I'm not honest. I'm honest because I'm saying I was speeding, but maybe them speeding tickets is not so honest. That's what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter because they all speeding tickets. So it's going to look like I'm a speeder. So I'm agreeing to whatever it is, but I know because I was the driver.
All right.
That's why I'm agreeing.
Miss Lane, you're just not going to really understand. I don't think you really understand. I don't see how you don't see how somebody can go 20 miles or 30 miles over the speed limit on Evergreen and Plymouth. I drive those streets every day. I see it all the time. With Officer
Bennett, he's on that. That's where he worked. So why would I be doing that like that? Like, why would I go that fast knowing I'm a see
Miss Lane, let's talk about this offline.
Okay. Yeah, you got to, because it's not doing any good, because you admitted to speeding. Now you're trying to dice it up and say I wasn't going exactly that fast. You're trying to say that. I don't know, but you admitted to speeding, and you always speed.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm a mental speeder, but I'm not a liar.
I didn't say you were a liar.
You say you don't know, meaning that you're not sure what I'm saying to be true. That's what you're saying. But I'm agreeing.
Miss Lane, I get people in here all day that say I wasn't speeding going that fast. I'm not in the position. I wasn't there. I don't know. And at the end of the day, to the court's eyes, it really doesn't matter how fast you are going when you're taking the deal. And I didn't say whether you were going 20 miles an hour over, but you're putting up the defense that how can I do that on Plymouth or Evergreen? I say it's very easy to do that on Plymouth or Evergreen. I think everybody in here can see people going 20 miles and 30 miles an hour over a Plymouth and Evergreen all day, except you. You're just saying, I wasn't going that fast. I was going 19 over. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. You're just gonna, let me just get it done. 72 hours of community service will clear everything up. That's all your old stuff and everything. 72 hours of community service, refer to community service coordinator. Do you have an ink pen?
No. Oh, you said I have an ink pen. Oh, okay. I thought you said I had any questions.
Long one.
Yeah, I have an ink pen.
All right, 313-965-8130. I'll waive the warrant fees. And I'll refer to community service. If you don't hear from them in a week or so, you can always zoom back into the court, or you can call that number to get it set. I'm going to give you until September the 4th. I don't necessarily expect it to be all done, but I expect a very good effort on it to be done. We'll come back on September the 4th and see where you're at, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, slow down, ma'am, and then if Bennett pulls you over and you're doing the speed limit with 10-2 on the wheel and you got all your stuff together, then somebody would entertain that. But by you speeding, nobody's really going to entertain all the other stuff. You should need to slow down.
All right.
All right, best.